Good morning and welcome to Nora's Dog Training Company. We're here today on this steamy Sunday morning and we're here with Marvin and his trainer Fred. What we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is his ability to understand and respond to his obedience commands. The little corrections and the motivation that we give the puppies when we're working with them and the training equipment that we're using. Fred is using a regular 6-foot web training leash and he keeps the bulk of the leash folded in his right hand. That leaves the left hand free to give the correction, and the only correction that we give is a little tug and let go on the training collar, and that is the second piece of equipment that we're using. Marvin is going to come home with his very own training collar that has been fitted specifically to him, and you will be taught how to use that during your follow-up training session. Now Marvin's sitting very nicely at Fred's left, which is where all of our obedience training is done. And the first exercise that we'd like to demonstrate for you is heeling. The command is Marvin heel, and at this point Marvin has a job to do. And that is to match pace with you, not forging ahead or dragging you down the street. And each time that you stop your feet, Marvin has been taught to sit automatically without being told to wait for his next command. And you can see that he's focused on his trainer, paying attention, looking up at him, and that's what you want. You want that eye-to-eye contact. Now the next exercise that Fred will demonstrate for you is the stay. The stay is a hand and a voice command, and because it is a stationary exercise, it is a one-word command. We do recommend that you practice your stays indoors as well as outdoors for good indoor manners. When Fred returns back to his dog, he walks all the way around him as an additional distraction, returning all the way back around to heel position, and Marvin remains seated until he got his next command, and they take off heeling again. Remember, proper heeling, I think, is one of the major things that people complain about, that they can't walk their dog without getting their arm pulled out of the socket. When you stop to cross the street or talk to a neighbor, he's sitting nicely. Fred leaves him in another stay. These stationary exercises help to build self-control, maturity, and focus. So practice, lengthen out your distance and your time. This time, instead of returning to him, Fred's going to call him. He uses his name in a happy voice. Marvin gives us a little wag and comes right in front and sits facing your knees, and that eliminates him coming and jumping all over you. And Fred heels him out of that. Remember, everything starts and stops at heel position. You guys aren't a novice with this, so practice, practice, practice with your video. Fred leaves him in another stay. He's going to demonstrate that recall exercise again for us. You notice the difference in the tone when you're calling him in. Coming to you should always be a good thing, and he should always be rewarded for coming on command. Whether it's praise, whatever, he should be, let him know that coming to you is appreciated. Now the next exercises that Fred's going to set up for are our down commands, and there are 2 down commands. The first one, with your dog seated at heel position, you take your left open palm, push it straight down toward the ground, and give the one-word command to down, and then you leave him in a stay. This is your down from a heel position. And you can practice this from 3 minutes working up to 5 minutes, and eventually the dogs end up falling asleep. When Fred returns back to him, he will walk all the way around him just as he did on the sit stay. Now we started to get up and you heard Fred say no, and that's our big word here. Anything that you're doing that isn't appropriate gets the no command. It's one word, it's easy to remember. So Fred's going to demonstrate that down from a heel position one more time. And as you get more familiar and you start practicing with Marvin, you can mix up your exercises. This time, instead of returning back to him, Fred's going to call him in. And then he goes back to heel position and back sitting. Very nicely done. Now the next exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you will be your down from a distance. This is a little bit harder exercise to teach and to have the dog execute because you're not right next to him. So Fred leaves him in a sit stay, walks away and faces him, This is the only time that we use our right hand to give the command, and he went right down on the first command. Very nicely done. Now we have demonstrated for you all of the basic obedience commands: your heel, your automatic sit, your stay, your down from a distance, and your come. I want you to practice with Marvin, and please keep us posted on his progress. We have so enjoyed having him. He's a nice guy, and thank you again for choosing Nora's Dog Training Company.